Thanks for joining us. And today we're going to talk about how to find a Kriya Yoga teacher. So finding a Kriya Yoga teacher is very important if you want to learn and master Kriya Yoga. There are lots of lineages out there, and some of them are authentic and some of them are not. So finding a Kriya Yoga teacher is essential for success in Kriya Yoga. So step one, find an authentic lineage. You want to find a lineage that teaches the original Kriya Yoga of Yogi Raj Lahiri Baba, also called Lahiri Mahashai. And during his lifetime, Lahiri Baba had several key disciples, including Panchanan Bhattacharya, who was his preeminent disciple, Swami Pranabhananda, Swami Kibalananda, and Lahiri Baba's two sons, Tinkori and Dukori Lahiri, as well as Swami Sri Yukteswar, Ram Gopal, and Bhupendranath Sanyal. If you can't trace the Kriya Yoga lineage to the original students of Lahiri Baba, likely it is not an authentic lineage. And as a result, you might not be receiving the original teachings of Kriya Yoga as taught by Yogi Raj Lahiri Baba. As well, if the lineage is not connected to these original students, what happens is the teacher of Kriya Yoga is not been teaching in the Guru Parampara tradition, which is essential in Kriya Yoga. Guru Parampara is passing on lineage holder rights from Guru to the next teacher who teaches in that lineage. And this is absolutely essential because this helps to ensure the purity of the original teachings of Kriya Yoga as taught by the great master. Buyer beware with this, because if you can't trace the lineage of a prospective teacher, you don't know what you're getting. You cannot be assured that these are the original teachings of Kriya Yoga, the full 7 initiations originally taught by the Yogi Raj. If a prospective teacher makes a claim about being taught directly by Mahavatar Babaji, who was Lahiri Baba's guru, steer clear. There are some Kriya Yoga teachers without authentic lineages who either suffer from illusions of grandeur or who are unscrupulous charlatans who are looking to exploit students. Step 2. Assess the teacher. Is the teacher part of an authentic Kriya Yoga lineage, and are they empowered to teach from their teacher? There are particular rules in different lineages of Kriya Yoga that allow one to have lineage holder rights as a teacher. For example, in the Panchanan Bhattacharya lineage, one needs to have attained a certain level of higher Kriyas and to be endorsed by their teacher to be empowered to teach as an authorized representative of that lineage. In Yogananda's lineage, his self-realization fellowship, Yogoda Satsang Society, Yogananda is considered as the last guru of that lineage. There are monastics who are able to impart Kriya Yoga initiation, but they are not gurus themselves and hence have no lineage holder rights. They are able to give Kriya initiation as per the directions of the organization. However, one needs to be a monastic in order to initiate others in this lineage of Yogananda. Lay disciples who have received initiation through a monastic in SRF are not authorized to initiate others. Consequently, if there's a teacher claiming to have a lineage through Yogananda, it is not authorized by the organization. Another aspect of evaluating a teacher is, do they communicate clearly and do they make things easy to understand? Can you follow their explanations? Do they break concepts down? Do they define terms? Do they demonstrate a comprehensive knowledge of Kriya Yoga and of meditation? Are they accessible? Are you able to communicate with them directly, or do you have to go through some sort of bureaucracy or administration to be able to connect with them? Or are you not able to connect with them at all? Are they responsive to your inquiries? All of these kind of things really make it important for a student. If a student is not able to have a connection with a teacher, it's very difficult in Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga is really about a one-to-one relationship between the teacher and the student. And this is the model that is based on the way that Lahiri Baba taught. He had individual connections with his students. He gave them fulsome explanations and provided them ongoing support. If you look at his garland of letters, which is based on the letters that were sent from his students and his responses, you'll see that he provided a very comprehensive support for his students on an ongoing basis. So that connection, that close connection, that accessibility of the teacher is absolutely essential if you want to succeed in Kriya Yoga. Teachers who offer only weekend initiations and then you never hear from them again and never able to contact them may not be the best choice for a Kriya Yoga teacher. It really neglects that whole relationship between the teacher and student, which is essential for success. Does the teacher have integrity? Can they stand on their own merits? And are they transparent about their level of development? Or are they trying to disguise their level of development with dubious or unfalsifiable claims? And as well, are they involved in a process of continuous learning? Now, once you find your Kriya Yoga teacher, there are a number of important elements to remember. The first one is empty your cup. There's a story of a prospective student who goes to visit a Zen master, and the master invites him in for tea. They sit down at the table, and all the while the prospective student is telling the teacher about how much they know about Zen. And the teacher is pouring the tea, and the teacher continues to pour the tea into the cup as the cup starts to overflow. And the student becomes alarmed and says to the teacher, "Why are you doing this?" And the teacher says, "You are like this cup, overflowing with your own ideas and judgments. To learn from me, you must empty your cup." So that is what you need to do in Kriya Yoga when you find a teacher, is to empty your cup, to put aside what you think you know, and to learn what the teacher is telling you. There's another story of a spiritual teacher who would charge a certain rate for new students and double that rate for students who had already learned the practice. When asked why he charged double for students who had already learned the practice, he said that they were double the work. They had to unlearn what they had already learned so that he could teach them correctly from the beginning. And this is the same thing in Kriya Yoga. If you have learned Kriya Yoga from other teachers and have not learned the original version of Kriya Yoga, you really need to unlearn what you've learned, to get rid and discard of your old habits and to learn it fresh from the beginning. In that way, if you learn it correctly, the original Kriya Yoga, it becomes a very potent practice that doesn't require a huge amount of effort to get results. The other important thing is to show respect for your teacher. And what this means is listening and following simple instructions. It's fine to ask questions of your teacher, but put aside your own preconceptions so that you could try to understand the viewpoint from which they're coming. Often the teacher uses a form of pointing instructions, which is like the finger pointing to the moon. It's not the finger, it's the moon that they're pointing to. They're describing a process, a particular technique that you are trying to master. You need to be open, receptive, and follow simple instructions without allowing your preconceptions to get in the way of that. If you're open and receptive, your understanding will start to emerge. You will start to intuit and understand at a deep level where the teacher is pointing to, and you may be able to grasp things intuitively in a very quick way. This requires the lack of resistance from receiving the teachings. It's absolutely essential. So you pay complete attention to what the teacher says, to try to allow your understanding, your intuition to arise spontaneously so that you can grasp what they are pointing to. And the last thing is to do a deep dive in the practices and the perspective of the teacher. And don't stop until you attain what the teacher is pointing to. And when you have done a deep enough dive, you may find that when you ask a question of the teacher and they tell you the answer, that you recognize that you already knew the answer. It was already inside of you. And what that tells you is that you are in alignment with the teacher and in alignment with the teachings. And you know when that happens that something has changed within you, that you have grasped at an intuitive level where the teachings are pointing to. And within the learning process, you are building on the greater experience of the teacher, and the teacher is helping to support you, to bring you up to their level of understanding so that you can function autonomously within that realm. The teacher is really looking to put themselves out of business because their greatest joy is the transformation of their student into a spiritual colleague and friend. So if you have any questions about this video, feel free to send me an email at info@modernkriya.com. Also check our website at modernkriya.com and our YouTube channel. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.